I'm afraid I bumped my computer just as we were going live, so it's a great time to have a wiggly image, right?
Good time, yeah.
Good time. Hello, happy Tuesday, good evening, and welcome to Live with Gotham Quilts. We are so glad you are with us. Got a very exciting thing to show you today and explain. We've got producer Ken in the shop. Hi, producer Ken.
Hi.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
So we are so glad for you to join us. Wanted to bring this to you because, and I'll start off with the deal, and then I'll tell you what the deal is for. We've got a very special deal. There is an end date on this deal, so wanted to bring you this as part of the Live with Gotham Quilt series, just to make sure that you knew about it, you knew how great it was. Oh my gosh. Raquel, no, we actually, we both have outfits that we love a lot.
Oh,
mine is this one, and that's Ken's. So it was just happenstance that we are coordinating. I suppose maybe that happens when you've been married for a while, as you start dressing like each other. I've heard that about dogs too, that sometimes dog owners start to look like their dogs. So we'll let you guys decide who is the owner and who is the dog in this.
I'm not.
I guess please keep that to yourself. In any event, what this is, we are bringing to you SewTites. SewTites, if you were part of our English paper piecing virtual retreat, you might remember the name from the magnetic pins. They're used a lot in English paper piecing, a lot in applique. They're really very handy and fabulous and wonderful. And one of the things about the SewTite company is everything that they make is designed by quilters and sewers, and it shows. Don't you love companies that are like that design for their audience? They are part of that audience, and so they really know their stuff. They really know what quilters and sewers want. The thing that we're bringing to you today is a special deal, but also a little walkthrough of one of the SewTites. I wouldn't say flagship because it wasn't an original product, but it's one of the big ones that has hit the quilting scene now, and that is the Magnetic Cutting System. We've got a video that will show you, just walking through in just a second, the Magnetic Cutting System. But basically what this is, and producer Ken has it in front of him. Do you have an overhead by any chance?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got, let's see here. Oops, nope, I'm doing the wrong one.
I'll let you get the right camera.
Maximize that. There we go. So it's a magnetic cutting system where it's got in conjunction a cutting mat, and you can see that in the light gray there, that works in conjunction with a magnetic ruler, and that's the big ruler that producer Ken has there. So we've got, let's take a look at the ruler there.
Yep.
You can see there are those little dots on the ruler there that magnetizes the ruler to the cutting mat. I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but the cutting mat is a self-healing cutting mat on both sides with a metal plate in the middle. And what this gives to you is we called this show Cut with Confidence, because I really think that it is a cut with confidence thing. The magnetized ruler will allow you to give you just that extra insurance to hold your ruler completely steady. And we can go to this way. We'll make that one the big one. Oops. Well, I'm clearly not doing this right.
Yeah.
You're getting all of the views today.
Any view you want, so
exactly.
We'll get one of the views right.
Exactly. We'll get one of them right. So yeah. Oh, so any event, I was talking about how the cutting mat is got a metal piece in there. It's magnetized. We've got rulers that go along with it. And there were one more piece to that, the boosters.
Yeah.
And those are going to be those little green things that you see there. Those ones serve two purposes. one, it gives you a little bit of boost on your SewTites ruler, so you can see producer Ken adding those to where these magnets are. It gives you some extra staying power, some extra sticking power, which is great for when you're cutting those thick things. So like cuddle or minky, flannel is great to use with this. I did a demo using some denim, a couple layers of denim. So anytime you're cutting those thick things, you get some extra stick there. You can also use those boosters to turn your favorite ruler into a magnetic ruler, and you just put them right on the top the same way. It doesn't mar or ruin the surface of your ruler. It just gives you that extra sticking power.
You'll
So
see that in the video.
yes. So Ken, I guess we've teased the video enough. Would you
Yeah.
care to play it, and we'll give you just a little walkthrough of all the cool things about this particular system.
Okay. Let me go ahead.
There we go. So in this, you get in one of them, actually in the main most popular one, you get a 24 by 20 inch cutting mat. And the great thing about this is it is designed so that you can cut a fat quarter or a full width of fabric folded in half. Your cutting mat is big enough to do that. You also get on one side whole inch measurements and on the other side half inch measurements. So depending on what you're cutting, one side might work better than the other. You get two sides to this cutting mat, as I told you about earlier. Each side is 3 layers of self-healing. I will pause here and say that this particular mat we've been using in the shop for a few weeks now, and I am a hard cutter. Like I press a lot harder than I generally should, and this thing still looks out of the box brand new. So it's a really good self-healing properties. You also see that it looks a little bit thicker than your standard cutting mat, and that is because it's got 3 layers of that self-healing on one side. There's a metal piece, and then there's 3 more layers of self-healing. So it is a little bit more sturdy than your standard self-healing mat, but like I say, it's been holding up really well. You can see you've got the inch and half inch marks on there, along with your standard angles. You get 30, 45, and 60. Now, what I was lucky enough to get the SewTites Magnetic Cutting System, and I will say that this was purchased for the shop. We did not get this for free, so everything that we're saying really is based on our own experience with this one. And so this will show you just how easy it is to cut down some yardage. I've got a fat quarter, a little bit less than a fat quarter folded in half here. So you can see it's relatively small just so we can get it all on the camera here. But all you have to do is line up your fabric. Now, I'm a kind of person, I like to use my ruler to measure. But one of the things that I didn't show in this video is that the measurements on this cutting mat are exactly the same as the measurements on the ruler. They line up exactly. So with this system, I would actually feel okay about using either the mat or the ruler to cut my fabric, to measure and cut my fabric. Generally, I am strictly using the ruler, never my mat. So in this case, I've used the ruler to line up. I think I got 2.5 inches of fabric here, which is a pretty standard cut. I'm going to gently place my hand on the ruler just to hold it steady. But with this, I don't need the death grip. I don't need the claw because I've got those magnets holding it to the cutting mat. So really, your hand here is just to steady that ruler and give it a little bit of insurance. And so you can see how easy that was to make that cut. And then that one I didn't feel like it quite cut, so I gave it another before I moved the fabric. And then all you have to do is line it up and cut it again. Now, one of the things that'll be actually we'll because I think I move on to denim after this. Now, where this really shines is the thicker materials, or it's great for people who don't necessarily have that that hand strength to be able to give their ruler kind of the death grip to make sure that it doesn't move. Even if you do that, I find that with regular rulers, my ruler still shifts. There's just no way around it. But this is going to give you the most insurance you can get with that. Now, as you can see here, I am using that same ruler. I probably could get away with this. Now, what you're seeing me cut here is actually 4 layers of a thicker denim canvas. So if you can imagine, yeah, that's a pretty thick piece of fabric right there that I'm cutting. Uh, to give a little bit of extra insurance, I use those boosters where those magnets are, and you could see that ruler did not move a centimeter. I kept the middle open. I didn't necessarily need to cover those last 2 magnet spots, just because the 4 was actually more than plenty for cutting this canvas. But it really did give me the confidence that my ruler wasn't going to shift and I was going to be able to make a nice, straight, clean cut. So there are a couple of handy things about this particular ruler. The ruler markings, it's a little hard to see the actual numbers there, but there are numbers all the way across. This one is a 6.5 inch by 24 inch ruler. And you could see the edge is beveled. I just want to make sure to use the 2 sides to measure that because those are straight edges. The top and the bottom, the one that I just showed you, is beveled. And so that's not going to give me a clean, good measurement. But the reason that it's beveled is really very handy because you can see here, I can get my fingers underneath that and use that to help pick up that ruler. Because like I say, the minute you stick it to the cutting mat, it's going to stick. Stick by the magnets, not necessarily any kind of chemical. Another thing is if I don't quite have that finger strength or, I got my nails done and I don't necessarily want to bother with lifting under there, I can use those boosters as a little bit of a handle to pick up that ruler and move it around and reposition it. So either way is a great way to move this particular ruler. So with that, I just very easily and very quickly cut 4 layers of denim without so much as a shift. Now, another thing you could do is we talked at the beginning about using your own rulers or your own templates. In this case, I had a very specific template that I wanted to cut. I can use those boosters to help hold that to the fabric. And in this case, I kind of went cuckoo bananas on the boosters. Definitely didn't need to use that many. For something like this, 4 would have been absolutely plenty, but they're just kind of fun to use. And so I added a few extra, a few more than I needed. And then that will help keep your templates exactly where you need them. And this is whether you have something like the creative grids where it's got the textured back to help keep things from moving, or it is something that maybe you have added some non-stick to. Any kind of a template. And sometimes those templates they just come very slippery. And so here's me cutting around now. I will be completely candid with you. I probably should have changed my blade. This one, I was having a little bit of trouble cutting, but it was definitely an old blade on this guy. So you'll watch me struggle just a little bit. But I can use that. And one of the things that I will point out is even when I was fussing about with that fabric, you will see how my template stayed completely still. It did not move. It did not budge because of those boosters on the top. And then I was very easily able to get my template pieces using the boosters and the mat. So there are a couple of different options for the SewTites. Now, I will say that we've got maybe 1 or 2 in the shop that we carry. This one is kind of, I would say it's a specialty tool. It is not an inexpensive product, that is for sure. But boy, it just changed how I go about cutting. It just makes things so much more consistent. And like I say, I can use all of my existing rulers with this particular system. And I see that Sandra got the rotating mat, which is a great reminder that there are mats and cutting systems of all sizes, all shapes and sizes with SewTites. So we are an affiliate with SewTites. And what that means is when you, because we couldn't possibly carry everything that SewTites makes as much as I would love to. If there's anything that you'd love to check out, and I highly recommend that magnetic cutting system. It's available in left and right-handed, and we'll go through in just a second what you'd find in the box if you were to get one yourself. But being an affiliate for SewTites just means that we partner with the company. And this is the first relationship that we have with the company because it's something that I specifically and we in the shop feel very strongly about. So this QR code will bring you directly to SewTites website. And what you'll see there is their whole variety. Now, the reason that I wanted to make sure to get this to you soon is SewTites is offering our friends at Gotham Quilts, along with other quilt shops as well, a very special discount that is limited in time only. So using the coupon code SEWING, SEWING, you can see that in the QR code, you will get 15% off. Now, with prices going the way they are, that is a limited time offer that's going to expire on October 15th. So anything you wanted to pick up on the SewTites website would give you, that coupon code would give you 15% off your purchase. Now, I will say that it might not work on the previously loved bundles. So give it a shot, but I think it might just be, but if it works, well. But that does mean that we partner with the company and we get a referral anytime someone uses our code or our QR code. And I do see it's definitely great for older hands, is what Sandra says. And I fashion myself a younger, hipper person, right? Even though I'm probably not that young and hip anymore. But it is great if you're losing some of that strength, or if this just isn't the place that you want to use it. Sewing, I think, is hard enough on our bodies. We should make it as easy as possible. And like I was saying before that Sandra bought the rotating mat, that coupon code SEWING, SEWING, is good for nearly all of the things. I think the only exception I can think of is possibly the previously loved option. So that is the SewTites. Producer Ken, how do you feel about playing the video of what's in the box? So we've got the magnetic cutting system. It's a really great place to start because you get a larger cutting mat, a larger ruler, and enough of those boosters to really do some cutting for sure.
We don't really have that video quite set. So if you just want to talk about what you do get in the box.
Absolutely. So in this particular one, this one is, like I say, the magnetic cutting system. You get the double-sided mat. We've been through that before. It's 20 inches by 24 inches, and you can cut all sorts of things. You have two different sides to it. Both have the same amount of self-healing properties. You have a lighter gray side, which is great for your dark fabric. And then you've got a darker gray side, which is great for your light fabric. Now, what we found in the shop, I will tell you, in the shop, we are incredibly hard on our cutting mats. We use them generally cutting in the same place over and over and over and over. It's almost like you're getting 4 cutting mats. You basically have, the one side, you can rotate it and you get the other, and then flip it and you get 2 more sides. So this one should last you a long time. And like I say, you're looking at the cutting mat that I've been using in the shop for a number of weeks now, and it looks brand new out of the box. It's pretty sturdy. You also get in this particular particular system a 6 by 24 inch ruler. I'm so sorry, it's 6.5 inches by 24 inches. And you can see there you've got the 6 little dots. Those are the magnets that will adhere it to the cutting mat. I really love the beveled edges on both sides. And I also love that the ruler is crystal clear. And so it's really easy to see where your fabric lines up and get that exactly where you need to. And the teal green is pretty fun anyway.
Yep.
You have the measurements on one side, and on the other side, you just have the plain dots. This ruler is designed to be used either up or down, whichever way you prefer to use it. So if you have like a specific cut that you're making over and over again, and maybe you take some washi tape or you take some of that ruler glow tape and you just mark where you're cutting, where you don't necessarily need the numbers, you get a lot more freedom with that particular one. And sometimes I go a little number blind. If you go number blind and start making bad cuts, you'll have to let me know. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does that. So hopefully I get some support in the comments about people who sometimes zone out and start making incorrect cuts. And then last but not least, you'll get a set of these boosters. And you can see I think there's producer Ken is playing with the magnets there. There's 12 boosters, which are plenty for just about any ruler that you need to cut with. They're great. So in this particular ruler, you have 6 different places to add the boosters on there, and then you'll have 6 boosters left over for something else. But definitely, thank you, Raquella. I am glad I'm not the only one. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh. Wait, that got a little stuck there, didn't it?
Yeah, it's very grippy. It's not impossible, but it is very, very grippy.
Very grippy. So, and then you'll also get a little card for your warranty information. There's also some tips and tricks on how to keep your cutting mat nice, new, fresh, and working well. One of the things, and I'll just go through a couple of these things here, just like any other cutting mat, you don't want to store this in a hot car. You definitely don't want to press on it. Oh, thank you, Jane. And Sandra, okay, we've got more people who sometimes zone out. Whew. I was kind of worried that I might be on an island. But you want to treat this just like you would any other cutting mat. The other thing I will point out is that this one is just a little bit sturdier than any other cutting mats. Even still, even with that sturdiness, you don't want to necessarily have it stored upright. Because that just is a little too hard on your cutting mats, and not something that you want to put this particular equipment through. It is no doubt an investment, and so you want to keep it nice and working well. So that's what's in the box there. Sandra mentioned that there is a rotating mat, an amazing rotating cutting mat as well, that has those same magnetic properties. So it's great for fussy cutting. It's great for squaring up blocks. Boy, that is a game changer when you have a rotating cutting mat when you're squaring up blocks, in addition to your ruler or your template and those boosters. It just keeps everything exactly where you want it, nice and neat and lovely. Indeed. So I'm going to just check the chat really quickly. I feel like I can't say enough nice things about the SewTites company and this particular cutting mat. I am mindful that it is definitely an investment, but a lot of what we do is an investment, and this one will just save your the cue to go to sleep. It's yeah, I suppose that's a good point. That's a good time to hit bed, is when you start making mistakes and zone out. So I love it. So one of the things that I'm so thankful of is that we were able to get one of these cutting systems into the shop. So I know exactly how much they cost, but I don't know how I lived without it. I think it's absolutely fabulous.
Definitely.
Yes. So with that, I'm not seeing necessarily any questions about that. I'll put the QR code up one more time. Please do peruse the SewTites shop, and just remember that coupon code sewing, SEWING. That discount is going to be 15% off until October 15th. After October 15th, it goes down to 10%. So that is just, I guess, kind of the new way of things. That's the world we live in, I suppose. But yeah, 15% until October 15th, and then 10% there on after. Cue to stop watching TV. Oh, goodness. I tell you what, the past couple of weeks, I've watched an awful lot of Office reruns while sewing. Sometimes it's nice to just have the background noise, but I feel like it would be more studious of me to get a book on tape, but I don't know. The Office, I miss it too much. So that's what I watch when I'm sewing. It used to be murder shows, but then that got a little, I don't know, no more murder shows for me, for this gal. I need to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah, I can't watch them either.
Yes. No. Okay. Well, you'll have to let me know in the comments whether you are watching live or on the replay. What do you watch or listen to while you are sewing? And if there's something that you had to stop watching, I'll take that too.
I have to have dead silence. I cannot have anything playing in the background. I'm one of those, if I have any music or any TV, I will listen to that and not do my work. So I'm more of a silent worker. So
interesting. Yes. Well, that is a thing too. I've definitely heard of people who need complete and utter silence.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the housekeeping section of our show tonight. I'll go through quickly a couple of housekeeping things. This one, I am so excited to see how many people signed up new for Stitch Lab since the English paper piecing retreat and even the last time we announced it. One thing that I will remind you of, if you haven't signed up yet, it's a great opportunity, and we're revamping a little bit. One of the special surprises that I'm so glad to bring to the Stitch Lab people is, I think of them as little gifties, little nifty gifties. Jane says anything hates silence. I like it. Fair enough. Little nifty gifties along with the Stitch Lab. And so the first one that's coming out will be for November Stitch Lab. For November, we are talking all about taupe. You know, the grayish brown, the grayish, whatever you're calling it now, whatever the new branded name of taupe is, we're talking about it. And so everybody who registers, who RSVPs for the November Stitch Lab, will get a little sample of some taupe fabric. And the goal, the challenge is for you to build around that fabric color a palette of your own. You can sew something, you can just build a palette, build a bundle, but make something fabulous, make something beautiful, and we're going to give you that fabric to get started. And so really look forward to being able to do that for a lot more of the Stitch Labs, to provide a little something to spark inspiration or creativity, which really is what Stitch Lab is all about. So if you haven't signed up, if you are new to Live with Gotham Quilts or haven't heard about Stitch Lab before, it is like, I would say, the best parts of a guild. We get together, we talk about fabulous things. And what else do we do? We get to ooh and ah over different projects and get inspiration from and to each other. So if you haven't checked it out, please do consider signing up for Stitch Lab. This October's meeting is coming up pretty soon here, and that's going to be 3-dimensional quilting or beyond 2-dimensional. So we're talking like thread stacking, or any of those things that are building on a thing where it's not just flat. Anything that's not just flat. So that's October's. November I talked about with the color taupe. And the other great thing about Stitch Lab is it's open to stitchers of all kinds. Although we will be providing fabric, but there are going to be other things that go along with Stitch Lab as well. So if you're any kind of a stitcher, if you are a sewer, crocheter, knitter, embroiderer, all of the above, this is for you. And then coming up really soon here on October, I forgot what month it was, October 8th. So Wednesday, October 8th is our next thread talk, and that is featuring Meg Cox. If you haven't signed up, please do consider doing so. It is going to be a great talk with Meg Cox, who is the author of the Quilt Journalist Tells All newsletter. And so her most recent version just came out today. If you haven't, definitely read it. It is fabulous and lovely. And then we are going to just mention this one more time, and then we're done with the pre-orders for the Gathered book. This is Jen King-Will's next book. It is a combination of quilt, I always want to say quilt recipes, quilt patterns and food recipes all together. It just really celebrates of all the best things about being together. So pre-orders are ending very, very soon. The book is coming out in October, so there are not a lot of days left. Kim says, yeah, there are a lot of great people in Stitch Lab. We are really getting a fabulous community there, and I cannot wait to see you all there. And just keep in mind, even if you can't come to every single meeting, it's a great opportunity. Come to the ones that you can. The more, the merrier, that is for sure, and let your friends know about it. So with that, I think we are done with the housekeeping things. I'll get rid of that. And I will, I think producer Ken went away, so it's just me bidding you a good day and a farewell. Thank you so much for joining us live with Gotham Quilts. We will see you next time, same bat time, same bat channel, and that is going to be Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Live with Gotham Quilts. I'm going to give you guys who are watching a little sneak, well, not a sneak peek, but I'm going to give you a little hint as to what. Okay, I'm too excited. I can't even give you a hint. I'm just going to tell you. We are going to do open up the pre-orders for Tula's Floral Reef, the brand new line that was just announced maybe a few days ago. We've got our first round of orders in, and so pre-orders, we're going to open them on Tuesday. And so you're going to see the fabric here and learn about all the cool things about that fabric and get your first chance at it. Not spoiler alert. Special news, the first handful of pre-orders are going to get a discount. So I don't know exactly what that number is, but if you want to be one of the first, if you want to get a discounted rate on that Tula pre-order, be sure to watch us live on Tuesday, next Tuesday, because you don't want to miss out on that. You don't want to have somebody else take your spot. So cannot wait to see you, and I cannot wait to show you the new Tula fabric. It is lovely and cute. So thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time and your effort. And don't forget, if you do head over to the SewTites website, sewing, SEWING, is going to be your coupon code. So thank you, Producer Ken.
Welcome. Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
I feel like you should say good night, Gracie. Okay, maybe not that, but good night to you all.